For this video, we are going to discuss on how to maintain a sewing machine. How to clean and oil your sewing machine. Cleaning and oiling your sewing machine is a basic maintenance that removes bits of lint, thread, dust, and even fabric stacked in your machine. These dirts can make work harder and can even jam your sewing machine. If you sew regularly, use sewing machine oil to help the moving parts function smoothly. You should clean and oil your machine after finishing any large project as well as any time you suspect it is having a problem. Steps on cleaning a sewing machine. Here are the steps on how to clean faceplate, presser bar, needle bar, thread take-up lever, and lifter. First is to unscrew faceplate and keep it in the drawer while cleaning. Next is to brush dust away, then put a little amount of oil while rotating the balance wheel to inner parts which can be accessed. Thirdly is to put back the faceplate in. Next is how to clean the upper tensions, disc, spring, and dial. First is to remove outer bolt, tension dial, disc, and disc spring. Next is to lay each part in your front table following its disassembling for easier assembling. Thirdly is to brush dust and wipe with absorbent cloth with oil. And lastly is to assemble by following the laid parts in your. How to clean lower mechanism, rotary oscillating hook. First is to remove bobbin case. Second is to fasten sides of oscillating hook. Thirdly, remove dust with lint brush. Fourth, put a little amount of machine oil on moving parts. Fifth, return spare parts in place. There are standards for sewing machine operations that are needed to be followed. Here are some pointers that you have to follow in the manipulation of your sewing machine. First is to start with the right tools and supplies. Have your needle, thread, screwdrivers, pins, and scissors ready for use. With tools at hand, you can start working continuously on your machine. Next is to always maintain good working posture. Sit on your back, slightly leaning forward. It can prevent body pains after working on your machine. Thirdly, thread the sewing machine correctly. You can follow the guidebook if you have. This will save your time to get a correct threading. Refer to someone to check if you have threaded it. Fourthly, be sure that the needle is properly set according to the directions for specific models. A properly attached needle will make your work without any trouble. Fifth, set the stitch regulator according to project specifications and test the stitches for possible adjustments. Sixth, check tension dials and adjust according to project requirement of the stitches. A correct adjustment on the tension dials will make perfectly sewn garment. Seventh, turn power off for motorized electric machines. When the sewing machine is not in use, this will save electricity and avoid possible minor accidents. The last standard is to keep sewing tools. Dust the sewing machine, then put a little amount of machine oil in slots. This will make the sewing machine available for the next user. On this part, we are going to learn the characteristics of good stitches. Number 1. The length of stitch is proportioned to the texture of the fabric. Number 2. The stitches are the same in length. Number 3. The stitches appear the same on both right and wrong sides of the fabric. Number 4. The stitching follows the intended line smoothly and accurately. Number 5. There are no skiff or broken gaps in stitching. Number 6. When retraced, it appears as one line of stitching. And lastly, the stitching has no tangles. Here are some definition of terms. Absorbent. a material property that sucks up or takes in the manner of sponge. Adjust. Change present setting as in adjusting tension. Balance wheel. The wheel at the right of the arm that sets the mechanism in motion. Band wheel. The wheel below the upper mechanism that leads the balance wheel through the belt connection. Band wheel crank. Moves the band wheel. Bend. A change of shape or angle caused by pulling or pricking to a harder part, such as machine needle driven out of throat plate slot. Blunt refers to an unsharp or dull needle point that is irreplaceable. Damp cloth, a cloth applied with moisture on water. Entangle, forming knots like thread entangled in the bobbin case. Feed dog, the toothed part mounted on the throat plate that helps move the fabric against the presser foot. Fault, something is wrong with the machine, system, design, or etc., which prevents it from working properly. Gummy, a thick of sticky quality such as oiled accumulated dust on sewing machine part. Jam, to cause the machine to stop fast so that it cannot work. Lift, moving upward as in a presser foot lifter. Lubricant, a material capable of reducing friction when applied between moving parts. Lubricate, the act of applying a lubricating agent between moving parts to reduce friction and preventing the form of rust. Manipulation, the act of managing or operating manually or mechanically a given tool or equipment. Posture, the correct working body position for a given task. Pucker, wrinkling of fabric caused by very tight stitches. Replace, putting something new in the place of an old or damaged. Rewind, winding again or repeat winding. Stitch length, the length of each individual stitch. Stitch regulator, the part of a sewing machine that controls the stroke of a feed dog and regulates the length of stitches. Treadle, this is where the feet rest to drive the band wheel through the pit. Tension, the force that is applied by the machine on your thread. Trend, a general tendency in the way a situation is changing or developing. Vital, extremely important and necessary for something to succeed or exist.